Karen O from KarenOBeauty, and I have an amazing look for you. Today's look is inspired by Carnival or Caribana. Caribana in Toronto is in a couple weeks, and this look would be perfect if you're going down to the parade to listen to the music, or if you're actually in the parade and wearing one of the vibrant costumes. So if you want to see how to get this Caribana inspired look, keep on watching. And without further ado, let's move on to the tutorial. So I went ahead and I did my eyebrows off camera. Now I'm gonna prime my eyes. And I'm gonna do this using a combination of Smashbox 24-hour photo finish eyelid primer and Tarte's Shape Tape in the color Tan Sand. So first I'm gonna add the primer. And this primer is like pretty dense, so it just a little goes a long way. Just take a little bit and just put it all over my lid. And just above my lid as well, because we're gonna put some color there too. And do the same thing on the other eye. Now that that's on, I'm just gonna take concealer. And the reason why I use concealer on my eyelids is because I'm sure you can see that my eyelids are pretty discolored, they're dark. And the concealer, what it does is it helps neutralize that discoloration and gives a really good surface for when I apply colored eyeshadow. I'm just gonna pat that in with my beauty blender. My damn beauty blender, I should say. And just make sure that I get it all over the eyelid. So now that my eyelids are primed, I'm gonna set that concealer I'm gonna go into my Dominique Latte palette. And using the color Vanilla Cream, I'm just gonna use a setting brush just because I wanna save time and it covers more surface area. There's no need for precision here. I'm just gonna tap Vanilla Cream all over that eyelid. So now I have a nice surface to apply color to. So taking a fluffy blending brush, I'm going to dip into Caramel in my Latte palette, and I'm going to use Caramel as my transition shade and apply that into my crease. You want to use a really light hand when you're applying color into your crease. One way that I make sure that I'm using a light hand is by holding my brush at the end and applying color that way. When you hold your brush at the end, you still have control, but you have a light control. Whereas if you hold the brush up here, it's more concentrated. It's kind of like you're drawing, and it ends up being really deep and hard to blend out. I'm gonna extend that color out. I'm not concerned about whether or not it looks messy at this point, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a makeup wipe and I'm gonna sharpen that edge. So any mess that we make out here on the outer edge won't be seen because we're gonna wipe it away. Okay, so now that I have a transition color applied, I'm gonna start going in with my bright colors. I'm gonna use the Urban Decay Electric palette, and I'm going to first take out this brush that's rattling in the palette. And I'm gonna dip into this palette, and I think I'm gonna start by deepening the corners of my eyes. So I'm gonna dip into Chaos, and I'm gonna also tap into Gonzo. And I'm just gonna apply that to the corner of my eye. And I'm just gonna build up this color. I really like wearing bright colors for Carnival, or in Toronto we call it Caribana. And it's so festive. Like if you ever get a chance to witness a Carnival or Caribana parade, you will see the beautiful bright costumes. And funny enough, Carnival itself originated from a European tradition where Italians would celebrate Fat Tuesday. So that's the day before Lent. And on this day, they would indulge in the richest foods because generally through Lent, they would give up meat. This tradition spread on to the French and to the Spanish, who then brought these traditions to the Caribbean along with their slaves and indentured servants. And they continued those traditions in the Caribbean. Then in the 1800s, around 1834, slavery was abolished. Actually in Trinidad, the now freed slaves used Carnival as an opportunity to celebrate their freedom. And they did so through dance and music and celebrating their culture, which had previously been stripped from them because of their European counterparts. So Carnival has a lot of meaning for people from the Caribbean because our ancestors were either slaves or indentured servants, and Carnival is our way of celebrating our history, our rich history that came from our motherland, whether it's Africa or India or East Asia. In the 60s, there were some Trinidadians who wanted to bring that flavor to Toronto, and they did so through our first Caribbean festival in 1967, and Toronto has been celebrating every year since. And that, kids, is your history lesson for today. So I'm just gonna take this color and just bring it above my crease, because I think I wanna do a cut crease. So by adding the blue here, I'm gonna have a lot of opportunity to cut that crease. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with my first blending brush. I'm gonna use that transition shade that I was using before. Just to remind you, it's Caramel from the Latte palette. And I'm just gonna buff out the edges. And that's the neighbors driving around with their tunes. So just buffing out those edges, just to diffuse them a little because they were looking a little harsh. I'm gonna go back into that blending brush that I was applying the blue with. And I'm just only gonna go into the brighter blue, which is Gonzo, in that palette. And I'm just gonna keep building that color into my crease, because I want it to be a little more brighter. I mean, Caribana is about bright colors, and I just want that brightness to show up on my skin tone. And at this point, don't even worry about it not looking neat. Like, it'll all come together. I'm gonna go in with my first blending brush and the transition shade, Caramel. Now going into my pointed blending brush, which was the one that I was applying the blue with. I'm just gonna keep applying that blue to the crease and to my outer corner. And when I'm applying my crease color, when I'm applying color to my outer corner, what I'm doing is I'm taking that color on the tip of my brush and I'm just getting into that outer corner of my crease and I'm moving my brush in a circular motion. And what that's doing is just distributing the color and blowing it out in that area. So I'm liking where that is and how it's looking. Don't be alarmed. I mean, it looks like it's a hot mess, but it'll come together. I'm gonna actually start carving out my cut crease. So I'm going to take a concealer brush, just your regular run-of-the-mill concealer brush, and my Tarte Shape Tape. Take some of that concealer off the applicator, and I'm just gonna pull the outer corner of my eyes and start, actually, not even pull the outer corner of my eyes yet. Here's the trick of the cut crease. Just gonna put some concealer here, close to my lash line, and I'm gonna blink and look up. And where I look up, where the concealer has now deposited, that's where my cut crease should go. So I'm gonna take some of that concealer on that concealer brush, and now I'm gonna start carving out my cut crease. Now, if you want, you could do a full cut crease, you could do the whole crease, but I think I'm just gonna go halfway. Just stop right there. I'm just gonna intensify that concealer, just again, because I want that base. It's all about that base, So I'm liking how that looks. I'm gonna back away from the concealer brush. And as I did before, I'm gonna set that concealer. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking my setting brush and dipping into vanilla cream from the Latte palette and just tapping it on top of that concealer. So now I want to apply, I'm gonna apply Freak, which is this green color right here, into that cut crease. And I want it to be really intense. So how I'm gonna do that is, I'm going to use my Makeup Forever Eye Seal. And what this does is, this is like a waterproof liquid converter. So what that means is, it's a waterproof liquid that I can apply to my brush before I dip into the eyeshadow. Then apply it to my lid. It'll be a really intense color and it'll lock that color in. So I'm just gonna take a couple drops and just drop it onto my palette. And I'm going to take a flat brush. I'm gonna just dip that into that liquid. And then I'm going to run it into Freak. And so that's the color that comes off on the brush. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna tap that onto that cut crease. So I'm just gonna take, I love the rounded edge of this flat eyeshadow brush because I'm just gonna take it and just run it along the edge of that cut crease just to make sure that every bit of that concealer is covered up. So now I have a cut crease that looks like this, but I want to blend it in with the blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip around my eyeshadow brush and I'm going to use that second side. And I'm going to dip that second side into Gonzo, which is this brighter blue. Like so. And I'm just going to apply Gonzo along that line there. Just tap it along. And I'm going to continue tapping Gonzo to the rest of my eyelid. Like that. I'm going to go back into the blues using my pointed blender brush. I'm actually going to use just Gonzo alone. And I love this name, Gonzo. It obviously was named after the Muppet. Oddly. I'm just going to bring that color out. I'm going to use the pointed end of this blender brush just again to ensure that there's a nice blend of the blue into that beautiful green. I'm going to take my first fluffy blending brush. I'm going to go into my Dominique palette, into Caramel, and I think I'm actually going to dip into Pumpkin Spice. And I'm just going to blend out my edges. So I really like how that looks. I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to do the same to this eye. So now I finished the second eye and it's looking really great. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clean the edges of both eyes using a makeup wipe. So just wrapping the makeup wipe around my index finger, I'm just going to run that wipe on the edge of my, like the length of my finger all along my eye, just like so. And as you can see, it's left me with a really sharp line. I can't speak today, as opposed to any other day. So now I'm just going to do the same thing on my left side. So now that I have two sharp eyes, I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to conceal my under eyes. I'm going to do my foundation and I will be back. So now that my base is complete, what I did is I did my foundation and my highlight and my contour. I can go ahead and I can finish off my eyes. So also I should mention that if you want to see a video on how I do my base, I'll link it below in the description box because I do have that video as well. Moving back onto my eyes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these, I don't even know what this brush is called. It's like a bullet brush. I don't know. It has a bullet tip here. I'm going to use it as a liner brush. And I'm going to go back into the electric palette. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip into, let's raise this up so you can see it. I'm going to dip into into Slow Burn right here. And this is a beautiful red. And starting at the outer edge of my eye, I'm just gonna apply Slow Burn there. And I'm gonna move that color inwards towards the center. I'm gonna make sure that Slow Burn just connects with that blue. Make sure it's nice and intense. I'm gonna take that same brush and I'm gonna dip it into Savage. And from the center portion to the inner corner, I will run that color along my lower lash line. So Slow Burn, I'm just gonna intensify that. Actually, you know what? Now's a good opportunity to use the eye seal again. I'm just gonna take a drop of that on my brush and dip it into Slow Burn and intensify that red. And then I'm gonna dip it back into that eye seal again, my brush, and I'll dip it into the pink Savage. And as you can see, the eye seal is really doing a good job of just adding that intensity to the color. And I'm gonna go ahead and do this to the other side. I just really love the rainbow effect that this eye look gives. It's so beautiful. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna take the brush that came with my electric palette. It's this double-ended brush. I'm gonna use this flat side and dipping into the eye seal. I'm gonna dip into this color here. It's called Thrash. And I'm gonna take that and I'm just gonna put it in my inner corner like that. And I really love how these colors just go so well together. So what I'm gonna do is, now that I really like how my under eye shadow looks and that inner corner, I'm gonna go off camera, I'm gonna apply some really dramatic lashes, and I'll be back and finish off with my lips. So I've gone ahead and I applied falsies. I used the Ardell Wispies in the number 113. These are really nice, long, dramatic lashes, and I think that they make the look, like they just add that finishing touch. So last but not least, I'm gonna do my lips. Since it's carnival and this is a carnival look, I want a really bright lip. Bright makeup all over. Whereas if I was to do this eye on its own and for a regular night out, I would probably do a neutral lip. But we're gonna keep this carnival inspired and we're gonna do a very bright lip. So I'm gonna use, I think I wanna do like an ombre lip of a purple and a pink. So I'm gonna use MAC's Retro Matte Liquid Lip Colors in the color Recollection, which is this one, and the color Tailored to Tease, which is this one. I'm gonna line my lips with NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner in the color Amethyst. Amethyst is a really nice bold purple. Like that. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with Recollection, which is the purple retro matte. And I'm just gonna line my lips with the Recollection. And I'm gonna use Recollection to just fill in the corners of my lips. Those corners tend to be a little bit darker. So adding color there will help. I'm gonna just put Recollection down for a sec. I'm gonna go into Tailored to Tease. And I'm just gonna fill the center of my lips with Tailored to Tease. I'm just gonna smack my lips together. I'm gonna use Tailored to Tease to just go over that purple again. And you can see I made a little mistake right here with my lip. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my beauty blender that I had used for my foundation. And I'm just gonna tap that area. And my beauty blender is gonna serve the purpose of an eraser, basically. And you'll see that that mistake is barely visible now. I'm just gonna use my lip liner again, just to go over that area. So I'm gonna pick up Recollection and just kind of wipe off the excess lipstick off the applicator. and just reinforce those outer edges. I really like how that looks. That's really bright and bold, and it looks fabulous. So last but not least, I'm just gonna set it all with a makeup setting spray. I'm gonna use Urban Decay's All Nighter because for Carnival you do not want your makeup melting off. Just do a spritz and praise the makeup gods. And just like that, our look is finished. So there you have it. This is my Carnival inspired makeup look. It's a fun, bright look that's perfect for a celebration. If you like this makeup look and you like me, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. And share this video with your friends because Caribana is coming up and they're gonna wanna know how to do a bright makeup look as vibrant as this as well. If you like me and you wanna see more content from me, be sure to subscribe to my channel. And until next time, I'm sending love and light your way. Bye!